Open up the audio right now.
Count us in, Neurotoxin.
And we're live.
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody.
All right. As I was saying in chat, Blightland's Pool, I think, is the name of the map that you guys want to open.
Yeah.
And we will pick up right where we left off. You were deciding what you were going to do next while standing around the unconscious, recently detoxified dryad of questionable origin.
I was going to start mending the tree.
That's right. Okay, so a couple of things are apparent as soon as you approach the tree. I mentioned before that, it's sort of like eaten from the inside out. There is, if you find a knot hole and look into the bowl of the tree, there is an obvious infection of a sort of like orange fungus.
Ew.
And that's about all I could tell you there. It's probably poisonous, I can tell you that.
Okay, so... Hey, at least I got a good survival check. Oh, I was meant to do that as nature. Whoops. Still do. So I'm
Though,
going
you know what? If we take the other one and we just subtract 2 so that it's equivalent, then it would have been, what, a 19 on nature? We could take that instead if you'd prefer.
That works. I'm going to go through and I have... Oh, do I actually have... I have detect poison and disease. I don't have something to remove it yet. I'll try to get out as much as... Oh. Create water. Can I use that to flush out the debris?
It's not debris. Like it's shot.
It's the orange fungus, but I'm trying to use it as a flushing.
Yeah, I mean you can try. The problem is that create water doesn't in and of itself produce water at pressure. I mean, it does create a ball of water, but it doesn't, it's not like a hose.
Yeah, you'd have to, I don't know, make your hands into a tube.
Oh, if there's a crack sitting in front of me, if I make the... How much water does that make? If I create the 10 gallons of water inside of the crack, that should just naturally rupture the stuff out. Just because it's filling that slot.
Right. No, I do get what you're saying. Yeah, that will definitely put the water in the tree. You don't exactly know how hollow the rest of this tree is, though, so you don't know if 10 gallons is going to be enough. But it's certainly worth a shot.
Right, well, I'm going to alternate between flushing and mending, trying to tighten up the tree and get as much as the gunk out. While I'm doing this, could I possibly wash most of the fungus on the outside off? That way I could keep, detect poison and disease and see if I get all of it out of the tree?
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely doable. That's very funny, Verde. Yeah. So, can you cast that as a ritual? Or are you going to use a spell slot?
These can all be done as ritual, I think.
Detect it absolutely is.
Right. I'm double checking to create or destroy water.
Is not a ritual. So that's a level 1 spell.
Okay, so I can do that twice before I have to do some form of rest.
Yeah, and I think clerics get their spell slots back on a long rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds right. So, that makes this way less doable. If I can only cast it twice, what will be classified as a long rest? I know
Yeah,
short rest
that-
is usually 30. I know short rests are 30 minutes and less. Does it need to be at least an hour to get as to be considered a long rest?
For me and my
Um,
deathless nature, it says 4 hours, if that gives you any kind of narrative on how long it is.
Okay.
But I don't.
long rests are at least 8 hours long.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Okay.
full camp.
So I think that's just because
The exception to that is if you have trance, you can get the benefits of a long rest in 4 hours.
likewise, deathless nature does that.
Okay, so that might be where I was pulling it from.
You can finish a long rest in 4 hours if you spend those hours in an inactive, motionless state during which you retain consciousness.
Yeah, that's how trance works for an elf too. They have to spend 4 hours basically unable to act, but if they do, they don't have to do anything else for the long rest. They're free. So you can get a 4-hour long rest if you're alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't advantage.
I'm gonna. Okay, so I got 2 casts of create water, so I need to make sure that I make them most viable possible.
You might not want to use those yet.
You have a point because technically
Well,
I don't have a cantrip that heals.
Well, yeah, and also likewise, Yolo is performing a song from a popular animated show, and he might, if you ask him about it, you might get an opportunity to wash the roots of said tree, which might be more effective in your.
But don't you only have salt water?
No, not me. You. If we were to talk about this, Yolo might convince you to go into the secret tunnel with him by saying that you might get the opportunity, since it seems to go under this sort of pond here. We might be able to clean the roots of the tree.
I
Might still be a little bit alive.
right.
Likewise, we just haven't secured the entire area yet until we check out that.
If I remember correctly from what you told us about it last time, the tunnel looked like it was southeast of the lake, so it wouldn't. I doubt there's a tunnel underneath the lake.
I don't think it is.
The tunnel where he was at ran basically, like as far as he could tell from there, ran basically like northwest and southeast. So part of it may go under the
tree,
the pond, but it might also, like just go
dead
under
end.
the very edge of it or something. Like you can't tell from there. You have no idea where else it goes. But part of it does seem to lead in the right direction.
And that's exactly
Gotcha.
what it's.
This is
No.
weird. I don't really want to leave till after the Dryads wake. A, B. I don't want to go down into the tunnels in case we run across more fun guys.
Yeah, you guys have no way of knowing how long that dryad's going to be out for what it's worth.
If it's usual unconsciousness, it's about 1 to 4 hours.
Yes,
Can
it's
I
somewhere
use
between 1 to 4 hours. That's
either a nature or medicine check or something to try to get more information?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, actually. Either one of those, you could probably learn something. You would learn different things from each of those.
Okay. Let's try medicine first.
Snipey,
Nothing.
where's my spell list? You said I had to fill that in this time, and I don't know exactly which spells I'm supposed to have.
Okay, well, you have all the spells that you had before already, but if you go to, I think it's ability? Yeah, under abilities, under features, there is an entry called Domain Spells Candy. If you open that, it is a list of all the spells that you get for your domain.
Right. I was talking about the other cleric spells. 'Cause you
Otherwise,
mentioned-
right, if you just want all of your cleric spells, open the spells thing under character on the side there,
Mhm.
and change the source to cleric.
Which one?
Down
Cleric,
at the
cleric
bottom.
new, or cleric optional?
Oh, okay. Cleric, the top one is probably all of those, so probably just cleric. But I mean, honestly, any of the ones in those lists should be valid, so.
Gotcha. Sorry
Any
for
of the ones that are not domain specifically, that's the trick. As
Gotcha.
far as domain spells go, you're only limited to candy.
Gotcha. Sorry. Figured while we were doing this, be a great time to drag and drop.
Yeah, I mean, and certainly knowing what you're capable of will make your next long rest significantly more effective. Because the cleric can change their prepared spells at a long rest.
I'm still not even. Oh, never mind.
Oh yeah, also don't forget you have one fewer spell prepared than you should.
I think I'm going to keep watch and watch the party from a distance.
Okay. Nature check, huh? All right, your medicine check didn't tell you shit. For what it's worth, failing. You could tell that she's unconscious, but like you didn't even get a system box from that response. Your nature check, on the other hand, does open a sort of info window with some basic information about dryads. They're generally bound to their trees. They can walk away some distance, but they can only move so far before they sort of feel a physical pain from the lack of the presence of their tree. If their tree dies, that pain doesn't go away, and it usually drives the dryad mad. But they are technically immortal creatures. If they're not physically destroyed, they will continue to exist. As far as you know, dryads are generally, like, as far as the information tells you, dryads are generally immune to poison and disease. There's no like indication of this particular dryad's status. However, it does say that this dryad does not come from Fairnuff. This dryad is extraplanar, probably from the Feywild.
Huh. What are they doing here?
How did their tree get here?
Right.
I'll offer for free as a DM.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't trust them. That me yelling across the field is supposed to, sort of correlate with my stealth roll.
The Feywild giveth and the Feywild taketh. Maybe the seed of her tree was brought here on the fur of some beast that was summoned.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. For what it's worth, there is no mention of her having any connection to any fungus or myconids.
Oh, well, maybe we should burn the remaining piles here so none of them jump up on us.
Sorry, that might be hard. One of them's in the lake.
Well, I mean, the myconids themselves are dead. I think you were talking about the mushroom patches, right?
Yeah. Yeah, in case there's more myconids that may attempt to emerge from them.
I mean, that's pretty doable. There's nothing around to stop you as far as you can tell.
Alright. Blastity blast, blast, blast. You want rolls for him?
No, I mean, since there's nothing resisting you, I think you'll be all right. You set fire to the various patches of mushroom. I don't have the right kind of decals to make that obvious, so keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say though, as you burn away the mushrooms covering the various corpses, a few of them do have pieces of remnants of clothing that look relatively fresh. Like, none of you really know how to age them, but like the dyes in the cloth that remains is still pretty vibrant. There's not a lot, a few shreds of a pant leg here, a piece of a tunic there. But it's enough that like you would guess they couldn't have been here for more than a couple of years.
Okay. That helps to know that these aren't some ancient corpses, but likewise they maybe aren't necessarily people who died like last week.
Right.
Take some time for these mushrooms to grow. Alright.
Can we? Yeah, you said we couldn't date the clothing at all.
We're not burning
Yeah, I
the
mean you could
peninsula.
try an investigation check, but you don't like offhand know how you would do that with medieval tech,
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, YOLO. It's like calling them fires is a bit of an exaggeration because they're kind of the mushrooms are a little wet. It's more like they sort of like char and smolder like like marshmallows kind of.
No, I'm just being cheeky.
Yeah.
So it didn't go on my spell page right, I don't think.
I don't see any new spells on your spell page. Yeah, it looks like they didn't go on your spell page at all.
Wah, wah.
It's on my standard page.
Oh, they're down under spells level 1. I see it now.
It wasn't letting me add it to the cleric section, which is oddly annoying.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, if you change where it says spells to spells space cleric in parentheses, it turns out that will move them for you.
I have words, none of which I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm thinking those same words for what it's worth. Also, you can press the little magnifying glass next to the dragon on the right to collapse them so that they're easier to deal with.
I already did that. I honestly wish it started that way by default.
Yeah, like on the combat version of this page, I totally get why you wouldn't, like because you need those buttons to work combat. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like on the prep page and the standard page, no, they should be. So you prep up. Yeah, you got it. Cool.
And I'm allowed 6 prepped spells?
5 plus your domain spells.
So 7 spells total.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically it's your wisdom bonus plus your cleric level. Is the number of prepared spells
Why
you
do
get,
I
and
have
then
2
your
cure
domains are free.
wound spells?
Probably just got added twice by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same spell, so. Okay, guys, so what's your plan?
Like I said, I'm gonna try to fix up the tree best I can.
I'm scouting. Well, not scouting. I'm keeping one.
Yeah, everything's pretty quiet for today. I mean, there's basically nothing alive, so like nothing. I mean, except fungus.
I'm not gonna go inside of a secret tunnel by myself, but yeah, so I'm scouting. Or not scouting, but
Right. Keeping watch.
Is everybody at full health?
No, I think. Oh no, wait. Did you heal yourself, Jory?
No.
Oh no, it's YOLO that's not at full health. I was gonna say somebody here is not at full health.
How many health is YOLO at?
7,
Out of
14.
maybe you want to take a little short rest here and roll a hit die. See how you're feeling. Or you could eat up to 5 good berries in your pocket.
I only have 1 hit die.
I can lay on hands once a day, right?
You already did.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
5
Yeah.
good beers, you
This
said?
would be a great time for a hit die.
I haven't
I mean,
eaten-
if you guys are waiting for that dryad to wake up, then you have at least an hour. So a short rest would certainly blip you forward in that time.
I know, it's just like a whole hit die though. I have 12.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are
I-
other ways to heal too. It's just a hit die is effectively free, since you'll get it back at your next long rest. You know.
How many good berries did I have?
Everybody,
You guys brought 20 with you, so
Yeah.
you each have 5.
correct. I gave what was it? I think 3 to the dryad.
That's
I'll-
correct.
Okay,
I'll
so
start down at 5. Put myself at a 12.
Right on.
do I get any sort of feeling that if I get her hit points up higher, she'll wake up faster?
No,
Didn't think so.
no, she seems to be pretty out of it. Like, you know, if she, I mean, maybe sawing logs is the wrong metaphor, all things considered, but she's pretty unconscious.
Knowing mushroom.
God.
Watts.
Okay.
So you have two casts of that create water spell, and that's what you were gonna do.
I'm trying to figure out what's roles I need to do about the scooping and the removal of the stuff and things, and seeing if there's other stuff that I could do that would be possibly.
You don't have
better?
to. Right. I was gonna say if you're gonna do, you know, if you're gonna like clean it by hand, other than needing water, you wouldn't really need to roll for any of that. That would just take you time, probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to make any sort of like decent kind of headway. But like, yeah, like there's no physical labor of which your character is incapable of. Like, there's no stretch you'd have to make to pull that off.
Okay.
If you use a ladle to get the water out, so that way you're not putting a spore rag in the holy water, you could probably just use the holy water to slowly help with the hand cleaning process. That might get you better results.
Sure.
And I have a ladle with me because, well, cooking.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right.
We are ladle having peoples.
Why is there so many lines there? Snipe, what did you do to my inventory?
I was actually going to ask you why you had so many lines in your inventory.
You guys are hilarious.
But yeah, if I can use some of the holy water to ladle in. That way, it can possibly remove some of the issues. Also, I have the ability to cast ceremony. Would doing a ceremony possibly help at all?
Is there a ceremony that helps trees?
Yeah, what does ceremony do?
It's like birthdays, weddings, bar mitzvahs, all the DJ events.
Gotcha.
Atonement, bless water, coming of age, dedication, funeral rites, and wedding.
Yeah, the closest there would be bless water, and I don't know that would strictly apply.
How much
'cause it
water
says-
can you bless with that?
But says of looks like a vial, and it becomes holy water.
Oh.
If I read it,
Wow. Wowee.
considering
Boy, dude was
how much
stockpiling it for a while, and we're just pissing it
Ye-
away.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Like, this is thousands of gold worth of holy water.
Yep.
Right.
I wonder if we can cut it with your create water.
Well, and if you do, does that make it less holy?
Most likely, yes.
Polish
A
water.
and B. It technically doesn't say that it takes a component.
Oh,
Other
it
than,
does. It takes 25 gold worth of powdered silver.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I washed my face in 25 gold worth of powdered silver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably
actually,
more.
I was about to say, considering the size of us, we most likely used 3 vials for your
Oh,
face. So that's
No.
sif-
Before that happened, while you guys were doing that and I was poking around the stuff, there was like a basin full of it, kind of.
Oh,
for
and you
the-
splash your face, that's right.
Yeah. I splashed my face, snorted my nose and everything.
God.
That makes it like real holy water. You gotta drop a little cocaine and feces in there, too.
What are you talking about? It could still be holy. Viking raiders used to pass around a bowl of water from their homeland. They would all wash their face in before they, got into the boat. According to the Roman who depicted them doing such. So
Right.
take that with whatever grain of salt that you want from the Romans.
His rum's rum.
What was that, the 13th Warrior or whatever they did that, where they all passed the thing around, they were drinking it, they were cleaning themselves, they're blowing their nose and stuff in it. And it finally gets to him, and it's like,
Yeah.
I am not one of the bros.
So the drinking it, I definitely don't believe, but there are also other depictions of Kiev and Rus and other Viking-like subjects washing communally. So
Right.
I definitely buy that, but the whole drinking it thing, I definitely don't buy that. I think that's some Roman propaganda.
Yeah, that was.
All right.
But the idea of sharing like a communal bowl of water and everybody washing their face, yeah, fucking Vikings were dandies. Do you know how many combs we have found that were like specifically made for like beard hair versus mustache hair versus like hair?
Hey, man.
Scalp hair, sir.
I was gonna say different hair has different qualities,
Yeah, the Gauls, Gaulish nobles, actually, they shaved their beards, but they kept their mustaches so long that it would filter their drink. Also according to the Romans, so I don't know.
Right.
That's
I
gross.
don't know if they deliberately did that. Or
I
if
don't
that
think Romans could grow a mustache, because no mustache wearing person would ever do that.
Right. Exactly.
I can only imagine how disgusting that would feel. That
And
would bother
sticky,
me
too.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So more Roman propaganda for you.
Yeah.
All right, Watts, are you going to use the holy water?
Holy.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's have you make a roll for perception while you're doing
Before
this.
he
See if
does
you,
that,
you
I'm gonna
notice
step
what's going
over and put my hand on his shoulder and give him a guidance and
Right on.
try to give him a little assistance with it. I mean, the Dryad, we're watching her.
Yeah, you've definitely got eyes on her. Guidance is 1d4 extra, right?
Yeah, and then whatever check he's making, if I've got proficiency, it's going to be assist.
Okay, so what do you want me to use? Perception?
It's up to you, basically. Like my point really is, I assume that you're paying attention to how the wood is reacting to your efforts as you're cleaning, and
Absolutely.
I want to represent that. So I'll let you pick the skill, because there's a few different avenues that you could take to sort of like analyze what you're looking at.
Perception, nature, survival, technically
Yeah.
medicine?
Yeah, medicine, nature, perception would work. I think insight and investigation would also work. Survival, I'm not so sure about.
And then
Okay.
1d4?
Yeah, you're not going to need it, but yeah. Okay.
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you had advantage too, so you won't even need to roll a second one though. With a 19, you're going to get what you need to see. So there are a couple of things that you notice immediately. So when are you using like a rag or something like that?
Rag and ladle.
Okay. So as you as you ladle holy water and sort of like rub with the rag, the fungus sort of like falls away, almost like it crumbles more than melts, almost like Play-Doh when it's kind of partially dried out,
Okay.
But it comes away, and the surface of the wood underneath it is pitted and scarred. The holy water doesn't seem to be healing the wood, but it does absolutely seem to have some kind of effect. It's like saying that it's killing it is not maybe accurate. You can't really tell, but it's definitely making it come away from the wood.
Well, that's good. I guess while he's doing that in the areas where I can get to it, I'll try to scoop away the stuff that's coming away from the wood but kind of getting trapped and stuck.
Right on. Yeah, so between the two of you, you can probably clear, the sort of like exterior of the trunk in about an hour. Maybe even like 40 minutes. If you also want to go to work mending some of the damage, just remember you're limited to like 1 foot scars maximum. Just as a nature of the mending spell, it's not, like it's not any
It's
other
not
kind of
grand
restraint.
mending. It's basically it's basic mending, not grand mending.
Right, exactly.
There's all the areas where there's pitting and stuff. If you just kind of pick a section of that you're trying to fill in the pitting areas, the restoration from that might help. I kind of think of it as like one of those put it back together sort of indie puzzle games. You
Right.
restore all the smaller parts as best you can, and then hopefully there's enough of the larger parts in close enough proximity that you can just kind of zip them back up.
Right, exactly. And it does take some effort. Like there isn't enough of the inside remaining to really like restore the heartwood of the tree. But you can certainly mend most of the exterior damage. Probably up to like 5 or 6 feet off the ground. Within the time that you guys have set aside. After about an hour and 11, 12, 20 minutes, the dryad seems to stir. She still hasn't waken up, but she's definitely more mobile than she was before. Uh, the idea, the impression that you get is that she's probably going to be waking up soon.
Okay. Good. Well, then I'll let you continue if you want to continue here. Everything within my height as of current is handled.
On the tree, is there any of the like heartwood that has fallen out and is in the ground nearby?
No, in fact, that's actually the reason why you can't restore it.
Is
Hello?
Sorry, I must have cut out there. I said, yeah, the reason that you can't restore much of it is that there isn't any like remnant of the missing heartwood around, like it's been consumed maybe, or vaporized or turned into dust.
It's like somebody hollowed it out and took out the heart piece.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no sign that that was done from the outside.
Interesting.
But long story short, there's just no way that you can restore the heartwood of this tree. It's never going to live again.
Okay.
Sketchy.
I wonder what caused the heartwood to, I guess, rupture from the outside inside out. It was like, if heartwood normally doesn't do that.
You want to roll insight for me?
That actually is kind of consistent with the blight, considering there was that hollow log we first came across, and it was, we thought it was a log. When you knocked on it, it was just kind of hollow and fell to
Right.
pieces.
Right. Maybe
So-
it's
Yeah.
Would this have
Right.
been with advantage, by the way?
Yeah, no, Neuro had walked away by then. Yeah, but you're right. Like the other log that you saw was effectively paper mache.
So that,
And I still had a guidance, didn't I? Or no? Either way, 9's most likely not going to be enough to get a good insight.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wouldn't really matter.
no guidance
Oh.
at one time for sort of thing.
Oh, it's
Also, that was
gotcha.
an hour and 20 minutes ago.
Right, so it would have. Yeah, that's true. Anything, even on the clock, most things expire after an hour. Most things, not
my
everything.
bad.
Yeah, I think that one's just a minute.
Right.
Anyways, stupid ones. So I have no clue what could cause it to rupture out like that.
Yeah, I mean, other than whatever your own personal experience tells you. Remember, you are your character, so if it occurred to you, it occurred to you.
And of course, if you mention it, then we bring it up too.
Right.
Actually, I've basically gotten this tree as mended as I can as it stands, right?
Yeah. I mean,
If
you could devote a long rest to it and like climb and try to restore more of the the heights of the tree. But like again, you're never going to restore the heartwood, so it's not like you're going to make a full tree out of your effort anyway.
Right. I've personally seen in real life trees that half the heartwood died, half of it was alive, and the tree was still technically alive for halfway. Could we get
Yeah. In fact, if there is enough of the heartwood left on a tree stump, it might sprout a new tree.
And you're saying that the heartwood for this is completely gone skis?
As far as you could tell, I mean, there was no space in the tree big enough that you could like stick your head in and look up. So, but like every place that there was a rent in the trunk that you could see through all the way to the other side of the trunk. Like it's clearly hollow, and no amount of mending seems to bring it back.
Okay. Hopefully the ride wakes up to where we can actually ask questions. I pass all of this on to my intrepid companions because, well, we're only as strong as the team.
I think it's shift to rotate or control.
Is that what you were trying to do? I was just
No,
fucking
I
with
don't.
It's shift.
it.
Yeah, no, I
Shift
wasn't
is-
sure. I just saw someone screwing around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
control size.
So if you guys have nothing else to do, we'll fast forward the last like 20, 25 minutes that she has left to wake herself up. But if there's anything you want to do in that time, do let me know.
Maybe drag her closer to the tree.
I'll help carry her.
Yeah, closer to the tree, the better.
And I will get closer to the group and try to hide again in the bushes.
Like, if we can get her close to the spot where she emerged from, or whatever.
That would be right about there.
Okay.
Wow, very stealthy.
I have a question, sir.
My javelin.
On dryads, would me casting mending on them do anything? Because that kind of goes into the gray section of what is flesh and what is not flesh.
Yeah, mending doesn't work on living objects. So I don't think it will work on a dryad.
No, I think maybe it's the Unearthed Arcana version of the Warforged. You could use mending to heal them, but I don't think
Okay.
that made it to the live version.
It should have, though. Like, given how Warforged are created in Eberron, that actually should totally work.
It would have to be something where all other heals are like, 1/4 effective or something, because mending is a cantrip, so you can literally just sit there, heal.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would play that as a DM is like, I would allow you to repair a certain amount of physical damage, but like damage to the magical apparatus is irreparable by mending anyway. So
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're using the living flag, those are considered living golems, so you wouldn't be able to mend any of it because of the living flag.
yeah, that's my point though. Like in OG Eberron, the Warforged status as living is questionable at best. They're more like sentient armor than actual living beings.
Gotcha.
That said, I haven't looked at the 5e version of Eberron. I like literally have only ever read the original material, so.
Like Alphonse?
No, Alphonse has a soul, so you could argue that he's a. Oh, wait a minute. I see what you're saying. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Actually, there's a whole thing where they just kind of accept on faith that Alphonse has a soul.
Right. That's exactly why I stopped myself. Yeah, exactly.
He might be an awesome simulacrum.
He very likely is, actually, if you follow their version of science.
Right.
Yeah. The whole point of that is actually to go against their agnosticism and sort of show that the Elrics can also be
Spiritual.
spiritual. They believe that Alphonse is still Alphonse, even if it is very likely that he is just a recreation.
Right.
But technically, by the end of the series, when they get Alphonse's body back to him, doesn't that technically solidify that he actually was Alphonse the entire time?
No.
Yeah, because remember, the homunculi had bodies too, yeah.
Likewise, Alphonse doesn't remember most of anything of being inside of the armor. So it's actually more likely that Alphonse
that they
was
resurrected
brought back to
Alphonse.
life miraculously by the efforts of the recreated Alphonse and Elric. Edward.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, that's funny because Elric is a first name. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so the dryad begins to stir. She's a little agitated when she realizes that you're standing nearby. I mean, you're at least not crowding her. You're not standing over her.
I'd probably have been sitting.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So she shrinks back against her tree, but she hasn't actually said anything. Her eyes sort of like dart back and forth between the two of you. But she definitely seems to be more together than she was before.
Hello and greetings, I'll say in Druid.
She cocks her head at you. She doesn't say anything, but she does seem to calm down just a little bit.
I'll speak a little more and say, I was worried about what was going on with you. You kind of emerged from the tree and attacked us. We were able to subdue you and get a whole bunch of black, nasty stuff out. It didn't seem healthy or correct, and we tried to do what we could to help your tree. You were just screaming mad and attacking us. You didn't. You were so mad you couldn't even hit us. You're just flailing wildly.
She can clearly understand you. You realize, because as you mentioned that you helped fix her tree, she immediately like turns from you and looks it over. Likewise, Watts, when you speak, and you say, "Do you understand me at all?" She actually turns back to you. And in Sylvan, she says, what's the best way to put this? She says, "Why did you help me?"
I think I speak Sylvan as well.
If I
looks
notice
like
that they're talking
it's
to
a-
and she's awake, I'm gonna come on over.
Did she speak back in Sylvan or?
yeah, she spoke back and
Um, I couldn't really bring myself to kill a dryad if we could save or help you in some way.
I've danced with the dryads before. My goddess loves it, so I couldn't bring myself to harm you that much.
she sort of like winces a little bit. She like, she draws her eyes, her brows kind of together, and sort of like flinches back as you speak. And she says, "I am already lost. You can't save me. And this place is death for your kind." She gestures to the bodies that have recently been uncovered. "You should go."
No.
Part of our reason for being here is to stop the blight from killing those like us and those like you.
Didn't you, Watts? Was it you that figured out that she doesn't belong here?
That was actually Neuro.
That was Jory.
What was it? No, the Jory's me.
No.
Oh, sorry, not Jory.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Well, because if she says she's already lost, like, has she been brought here too, like we were, and why?
Were you transported here?
Oh, I speak Sylvan. It's just I don't know how to access it, I guess, as a player.
In the chat window on the left hand side, right above chat, you'll see a little drop down window.
Oh no,
You can.
I mean, I as Jory am like,
Right.
do I understand?
Oh.
How do I speak this?
Let me ask you a question, Jory. Are you thinking this question to yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Well, because I assume.
A blue window pops up and it explains to you how you access your other languages.
Right. Can you roll insight for me?
Sure.
Is there anything I can roll to play some kind of like mini game to try to like make out repeated words or something?
Natural, but it'll do.
Yeah, actually, you could probably, like, that would take a long time. Like, you couldn't get that done in a single session.
Oh, absolutely.
But if your intention is to learn like something like Sylvan by immersion, yeah, that would probably be insight or investigation, I think. Jory, as you ask yourself the question of how do you speak in the languages that you know, a small blue window opens up, basically, within arm's reach of you, directly in front of you, that contains a drop-down list of all of the languages that you speak.
Oh, it does.
It appears to be an interactive display. At the bottom of the display is a checkbox next to a label that says automatic mode.
I will check that box.
It was already checked, so you will uncheck that box if you want to click it.
No, I don't want to click it. If it's checked, I'll just leave it right on.
Okay. And there is a conspicuous close button to dispatch the window too. You realize any time that you want to consciously switch which language you're thinking you want to speak in, this window appears. Like you have now realized you can summon an interactive display this way.
Yeah, I get it.
That hasn't happened for anybody else because they've kind of just been talking and knew what they wanted to speak in. So it's just been working automatically for them.
Sure, I'm still experiencing a two-body problem.
Imagine having a 3-body problem.
You're right. I actually am having a 3-body problem. It's just the meat isn't here.
All right, in that case, imagine having a 4-body problem.
Yeah, there's like a squaring, like an n squared effect going on there.
Right.
Yeah. So, in answer to the question, Ajori, she says, you said transported. She says, I wasn't brought here, I was summoned.
Oh,
Huh.
who summoned you?
She shakes her head and she says, I don't know. I recognize the magic as it happened, but I never met the caster.
And they
Possibly
never
the corpse.
left the purpose, did they?
Great. She was spawned. She's a spawner, you guys.
How long have you been here?
She gestures at the lake, and she says, the lake had not yet claimed those. I don't know how long. Many days. Thousands.
Is your tree still alive at any part in any way?
She shrugs and she says, no, it's been gone for far too long.
Is it so far gone that you still need to even be by it?
Well, without her tree, I mean, dryads don't last without their trees.
They do, actually.
But they go crazy, right?
Correct. The reason they go crazy is because being outside of the presence of their tree causes them physical pain.
Great.
And her tree doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Right. So her life is, agony.
Anybody that tries to tell you different is selling something.
Pretty much. Is there anything we can do to help you at all?
She shakes her head, and she says, it's my fate now to be as thus. I will exist until my body does not.
Wish I could give you freedom.
To
be bound like this is not kind.
Do you still have any of your power left? Are you?
She thinks about it for a moment, and she says, well, I have magic, if that's what you mean.
Is there any of that magic that can help you or stain? I don't. I'm sure you've thought of those things.
She says, I couldn't even protect myself from the blight.
Well, we want to do what we can to undo the blight. We're trying to figure out where the source of it is. We have something that seems to affect it in a pretty meaningful way, and we intend to destroy the source, and hopefully that will help kind of contain the continued spread. Then I don't know if it's going to be some cleanup effort or if it'll just kind of die on its own after a few seasons.
Yeah, she kind of like shudders, perhaps at a bad memory, perhaps at the notion of the blight itself. It's hard to say. Maybe she's even just feeling the pain that is a constant companion in her life, but she seems to shake a little bit before she replies. And when she finally does, she says, "When it came for me, I didn't realize it was too late. It was in the water, in the ground. It was everywhere."
Hmm.
And it's not evil.
Do you know if that tunnel over there, um, just a little ways past the water to the southeast of us, do you know if that leads towards it in any way?
She points to one of the nearby skeletons and she says they thought so.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, they never made it that far.
Well, we'll have to investigate and see how far they did exactly make it.
Did they just succumb to the blight, or did they succumb to something else?
There's a poison in the water. The blight consumed them later, and she points to, the charred remains of the mushrooms that are around. She says, "The blight doesn't directly affect your kind. It will eat of your flesh when you are dead, but it won't eat of your flesh when you are alive. It craves from you something else at that point."
Well, that's spooky.
Hmm. Oh, and what would it crave of us as we're alive then?
The fire of your life, the warmth of your being. I don't know your words.
Oh, yeah. It's it brings despair. I getcha. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Evil, nasty, local epidemic of evil, nasty stuff. Yep. That's what we're trying to clean up. Um, this holy water stuff seems to work. Is there anything else you can think of that works against it? It doesn't seem like fire does too well. I mean, took care of these mushrooms, but if I just make a big old pile of the blight spores and shoot fire at it, it doesn't seem to affect it too much.
No, it wouldn't, she says thoughtfully. She thinks for a moment and she says, "None of my magic had any effect either. I couldn't I couldn't make the I couldn't make the I couldn't make any of it fight back. Nothing I tried. I I I tried to keep this forest alive. I thought maybe that was why I was here."
What were the
What?
magics?
Whoa. Where were you summoned from?
The Feywild.
Right. So perhaps she was summoned here as a vain attempt to fight the blight by putting a warden of a forest into a threatened forest.
That would certainly be rude.
Well, but I mean, it's no ruder than the way we were brought here.
The corpses that are here.
Actually, kind of kinder. If you just summon her, you don't have to hit her with a truck.
Hey man, every plane has its own methods of travel.
Suppose so.
At least you weren't on the plane of Vor, you know?
Oh.
We don't talk about that place.
I'm so sad now.
um,
I just told you I was having anxiety.
can
dreams.
you? What are the sorts of magics that you tried against it? Just, I'd love to know.
Yeah, she struggles with the words. What's the best way to put it? Control is hard for her. She's constantly like distracted. Marshaling her thoughts is difficult for her. So complicated subjects like magic are hard for her to discuss. That is that said, I mean, she tells you that she attempted to rejuvenate the plants. She attempted to grow new plant life. She even tried, casting what's the spell? Goodberry. And tried to keep the wildlife alive. But ultimately nothing could keep the blight away. The blight killed all the plants. The animals all starved. Then the blight ate them, and she had to watch it all.
If we were to plant something within your tree, would that be able to work in some way to
Mistletoe.
kind of help revitalize and restore your abilities, given that we actually get rid of the blight and it gets removed from the area?
She shakes her head and she says, "You keep trying to save me. It's not possible. My tree is gone. I'm just an echo."
What happened to your tree? I understand the blight
Yeah, the
affected
blight-
it, but I don't understand your heartwood. It's gone.
Consumed. Eaten.
Yeah, consumed, just like the fire that's within us. That's the same for her. Also, while we're standing around here, I'm getting California cancer warnings. Like,
Right. This whole area is terrible. She shakes her head as you guys are deliberating, and she says, "You can't stay. It will just consume you too. If you
yeah,
really think you can stop it, then you need to act quickly. It's insidious. It's insipid. You won't know it when it's attacked you."
right. So I know that it's not evil per se because it doesn't sniff like that. But
No. And if you say those words out loud, she will shake her head and say, "No, the blight just consumes."
right. So is there like? I'm getting really creepy crawly. Like I'm sure I'm getting itchy. Do you know like? Do I notice?
Do you notice that you're getting anxious?
Well, no, I'm clearly getting anxious. But do I notice that there's a difference between anxiety and reality, or am I actually getting skin crawly, creepy crawly?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah, you're not like riding a Jory puppet. People see Jory instead of you, but you're you.
Yeah, we should probably go. Well, I mean, what's the fire inside one of us if it isn't, us?
I. Do you want us to leave you be? Do you want us to end you? What would you ask of us? We can leave you be, and if we successfully cleared the blight, check back in and see if you still care to be around or anything.
She shakes her head and she says, "Even now, the pain," and she sort of trails off, shaking her head, her hand now like pressed against her temple. After a moment, she finally brings her hand back down and sort of sighs, and she says, "Fire. Please. Fire."
The tree?
Burn it all.
Burn the tree down. You heard the lady.
You want us to burn the tree down? You with it?
She shakes her head, yes.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna play the
won't.
paladin and hop away.
I can't deny this request.
I'll aid
Hey.
you in this. This is I tried to mend the
for
tree.
everything that you've told us here. We will try our very best to do something about this horrible blight and not get consumed in the process.
She sinks to her knees. She sort of wraps her arms around the trunk of her tree and just nods. She doesn't say anything.
Well, some days you eat the fruit, some days it's euthanasia.
Euthanasia!
No, not that. The different one. Not the
Oh.
Megadeth album either. I know you're.
I was gonna say, not that New York punk band.
You can only have
Wait,
three.
wasn't Snipe supposed to be a part of that band for a little while? Sorry.
All right. Well, burning a tree is burning a tree.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy fire coming right up. I think I can cast that.
Can you make sure that it's not going to be a forest fire?
Fortunately, there's enough of the non-burning fungus around. I don't think we really have to worry about that.
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah. So you light the tree and the dryad on fire. I mean, you intellectually understand that she lives in pain constantly. So my observation that it doesn't seem like she's in pain is, probably not accurate. But she doesn't react like someone in pain. In fact, the last thing that you see before the flames consume her completely is her completely relax and open her mouth as if she was sighing. And then she's hidden behind the screen of flames that burn. A white smoke releases from the tree as it burns. It doesn't have the same sort of like odor as the rest of the forest does. It's like calling it a clean smoke is a weird way to put it, but it smells kind of like, fireplace wood. Like it's a pretty clean smoke. And the whole area around her tree, as the flames burn, sort of like is uncovered as the fungus in the area sort of retreats back from it. You don't think that's heat related, to be clear. You've already made experiments, but something about the process seems to be pushing the blight away from the tree.
But we don't think it's the fire?
If anything, I would probably think more of an Arcana check.
This is technically a rite of passage, a burial rites of sorts. This is release. This is us freeing a soul.
That rule sort of. All right.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do these in order. Thoughts on religion didn't seem to generate any sort of response from the system and didn't gain you any particular personal insight either. However, speaking of insight, you realize it's not the heat, but probably the smoke.
Can we identify what the tree was that she was the dryad of?
Yeah, actually, because it's unusual for the area. Like the rest of this forest is aspen and beech and poplar. Relatively small trees. But her tree's a big ass oak. Probably a holly oak specifically, in fact.
Holy wood.
Well,
Maybe mistletoe would have worked.
maybe we need to get ourselves some Hollywood sensors. No, the other sensors.
But I'm Chang.
Oh, that was a fucking Animaniacs joke. That's great, dude.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
that was good. The other sensors.
Yeah. So that tree's probably going to burn.
You cut out.
Sorry, I said that fire is going to burn for a while, but also that fire is not jumping to the other trees.
Can I collect any suitable burning branches?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Grab a burning branch and kind of swish it around.
Yeah, I mean, branches of that tree will fall off as it burns since you lit it from the bottom up. So yeah, you could probably recover some burning branches off of that tree.
Yeah, I go and try to find other offensive-looking piles of mushrooms and dead trees that are by themselves, and I try to burn them down.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely the smoke. The fire doesn't seem to burn the fungus directly, but everywhere the smoke from the branch touches the fungus causes a reaction as if the fungus is a creature trying to avoid it.
All right, my character is covered. His clothes. I don't know if I described this the first time I introduced him, but they were once fine, noble clothes, but now they're very, very dirty and patched and sort of covered in dirt, other things. So I'm just gonna go down to like the lower part of maybe like the robe thing I'm wearing, or rip a good long strip of it, sort of dampen it in the SCOBY, and make sure it's not too wet or soaked. But I'm gonna try to then put the stick in the fire and get a really hot ember going, so I can then like produce more smoke. You know what I mean? Like try to wet it, produce as much smoke as possible, and then I'm gonna censor the whole area as much as I can while these guys do what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right.
By the time I get to the south, if I still have a branch or two, I might get a second branch going. I will definitely think about heading inside of that cave since the smoke can probably fill up the area. Is really what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big ass tree, so if you guys wanted to collect branches, you could potentially even like put out the burning part of the branch now and
Right, to set it aside.
stash it. Right.
All right, I'm gonna
Enough
collect
that
a
you
bunch
guys
of-
could probably put together a couple of armloads of branches, you know?
I'm gonna collect a couple of bundles of sticks, and I'm gonna have maybe one or two good branches like burning, so I can censor the place, like I said. But no, that if I can do that, I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Bringing around what we can, kind of stuff in our inventory boxes with them a little bit.
All right. Well, let's say that 5 branches weighs a pound.
Those are little branches.
Yeah. They're the bits that are falling off as the tree burns. Like if you want to grab like a bigger branch, you know, like
An actual limb.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I was thinking
you can too.
torch size, so I could swing it around like a low to the ground like a metal.
Right, like a club basically. Yeah, there's certainly wood of that type available if that's what you want.
Yeah, and then just go sweeping around the clearing, trying to.
Right. In
I'd
which
look
case,
for a
just go look at the weight for a club and make that the weight for the object that you add.
Thank you, Jory.
I was going to see if there's like any pieces that spoke to me.
No, nothing like that. No.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use these two club-like things that I have like fairly readily. Like I'm not leaving this area until I burn these two things down.
Yeah, I'm using light to sort of represent the area that you've affected. Because I don't have a good way to like draw on the map that isn't like literally take a marker to my beautiful map, which I'm not going to do. But
No, I got it. I even kind of see it too. It's trippy. But I'm headed actually towards the secret tunnel so that I can fill that up with as much smoke as possible. I'm gonna hotbox that shit.
Oh, I forgot to ask her the question. What poison's in the water?
Yeah. So your detect poison, you already cast that on the water last time, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what that tells you, it doesn't give you like a specific name for the poison or anything. But there is a cyano agent in that water.
Translation?
It's got cyanide in it.
Yeah, it sucks.
So it gets into your blood and prevents it from binding oxygen, and then you die.
Right. Cyanide's not a. I'm forgetting. Is cyanide a naturally occurring type situation?
Yeah.
It can be like technically it's not a poison; it's a toxin. But a dryad doesn't necessarily know the difference.
Heavy metal.
Cyanide is in almonds, bro.
Yeah.
It's just that you would have to eat like fuck tons of almonds to accumulate
Oh,
enough.
shit.
Right.
to-
The cyanotoxin in the water, however, is significantly more potent than that.
Also, apple seeds.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I picked
Cyanide
up-
doesn't boil off with heat, does it? It concentrates.
Does,
Right. Because it's a heavy metal. Yeah.
Oh,
Cooks down.
fantastic. Well,
If you boil off the water, you should leave a cyanide residue at the bottom of the lake.
Right.
Yeah.
If the water has salt in it, you'll end up with a cyanide salt.
Yep.
well, that's fantastic. That sounds great for weaponizing for outside of this area.
Yeah. Likewise, though I am personally not too well versed in it, but I've seen it before. I'm fairly certain if we take the salt to this SCOBY that we could probably draw some of the cyanide up into it. We don't have a stir stick though, so it's not going to be nearly as effective as it could be.
You guys sank the SCOBY earlier.
Oh shit, the whole SCOBY sank. I forgot. I thought there was like this mycelia layer on top of the whole lake as well. You know what I mean?
Right. There wasn't where the SCOBY was, though.
Okay. No, I thought we like popped a pimple and there was like still like this ooze left.
Right. Yeah. No. The whole top of the lake is like scummy. Like there's like a mat. But the SCOBY was probably the source of that mat, and when you guys flung stuff at it, it sort of collapsed on itself and sank under the water.
Yeah. I grabbed one of the shovels and one of the pickaxes, and I race back and I hand it to Jory and who's that? Phelan, who's close. Not really indicating that they should do this, but we should gather up. I tell them that we could gather up the roots to that tree there, and that's probably, equally as holy. And it's currently not burning.
We could also use it to make tea.
No, good. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would holy us, like our bodies. Holy crap! Wait. Suddenly, YOLO thinks for a second. I washed my face in holy water. Does that mean my body is technically holy for like as long as the moisture is still there? Could I fill my body with holy water since I don't digest it?
Holly
literal
all
holy beacon?
over Southern California.
Actually, what does holy water do to you since you're technically
Oh yeah.
ambiguous?
It doesn't say that heal doesn't hurt me.
Right. He's not evil, so like holy water isn't anathema, is that the word? But yeah, holy water's not bad for him. Yeah, to answer your question, Verde, I suppose you could guzzle a stomach's worth of holy water and hold it there? Question mark? You'd have to try that. As far as like your face goes, I mean, it's been anointed with holy water, so it's as holy as something that's been anointed with holy water.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it occurs to me that we should probably gather up some of the roots to this as well and use as literal much as possible. Like there's even mining equipment here for us to use. We don't have to keep.
And I can take a moment to mend it. That way it's in slightly better condition.
But I'm gonna go hotbox that secret tunnel. So if I'm not back in 5, come and get me. And I run back.
Yeah. Are you going alone?
I would follow him.
Yeah, we can.
I'd be there as well.
Let's say we can all go.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right,
I'll
then
box that
let's
tunnel. I'd like in.
before I do that, then let's spend a good while digging up some of these roots. I don't want the whole tree to be gone by the time we're back. Reasonable?
I mean, are we digging up roots of a tree that's still smoking and smoldering?
Yeah.
How far did the tree? What are the roots like on an oak tree?
Pretty big. Like they probably do extend where you could get at them outside of the fire.
It's a raging torch of a tree just sitting here.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's not like a cool. I mean it's cool, but it's not a cool fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a almost 500-degree fire right there.
And it's going to
I
fall.
don't feel it.
It will inevitably fall in some direction.
Oh yeah, probably soon.
But yeah, if we de-weight the side that we're on right here, where the roots are, it'll probably fall in the opposite direction.
Oh wait! Let's get it to fall in the lake.
Oh, I like that.
That's a cool
I
idea.
would
I'm
rather-
standing
you know
over
what?
here where I think
It's not
falls.
likely.
It won't reach the lake.
It's also not likely that we could probably drag bits of it, but it's also not likely that that this whole tree is gonna burn like the roots and everything. Like that's not how trees burn, is it?
No, they burn.
Generally not.
No,
Be able to gather some of the roots then.
this tree's burning faster than most though because it's kind of like built like a furnace now.
Well, yeah, it's hollow, right? No heartwood.
Right.
Gosh, I could have gotten some pizza dough ready.
All
Right?
all of the roots are insulated right now by dirt. Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
So
Yeah.
really what I was getting at by pointing that out is that it's going to burn fast and hot, but that also probably means it's going to burn to the ground and leave the roots there.
All right, we can wait. Let's
Okay.
go to the
Yeah, we can come back for that. Let's take our burning chunks and go into that cave.
All right.
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
And then, did you actually roll the hit die for the rest?
No, I didn't do that. I
You
ate
should.
good.
You should do that. You should do that while I go grab a little mini ice cream cone. I'll be back in a second.
He ate good berries instead, I think.
I ate good berries. I'm not gonna use a 12D hit die for 2 points.
You eat 2 good berries. That's 2 HP. Congratulations.
I can't. No.
I think you did that.
Home of the good berry.
I think you did that wrong, Yola.
What do you mean? My wounds are now at 12. Oh,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Your wound should be at 2, not 12. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
That's better. Okay, while we're waiting for Neuro, I'll share the map with everybody.
My screen is black.
And I don't have any point of reference. Like, I don't have a dot.
Okay, you guys should be down sort of like at the bottom as a group down there.
Map
Up there.
loading.
There we go. Oh, by the way, Snipe, did you see my question?
Oh, yeah, the one about cantrips, you mean? Sorry, I meant to bring that up earlier. Cantrips are just always available.
So, no, what I mean is, I only get to choose X of them when I first take it on.
Right,
There
so
wasn't
anytime that you gain a new cantrip, you can swap one of your cantrips out.
Okay.
Is it anytime you gain a level, or is it only when you gain a level that gives you a cantrip? I can't remember.
No, actually, Wizards can do it anytime for theirs out of the spell book, and all the other casters, it's on the 4 multiples. So your attribute point levels, your 4, your 8. 12.
That's right. Yeah, got it. Yep. Terrible, Jory, by the way. Terrible. Oh, look at that. The grid doesn't match. Don't mind me. I'm going to fix this.
Is the grid not working again, sir?
Oh, no, it's working fine. The image map is slightly larger than the grid size that Fantasy Grounds wants to use, and so like it'll get off center. So I have to like set it at fractional pixels, which mostly works.
All right.
That'd be frustrating to me.
Yeah, I just got to remember to turn the other grid off when I export them, so that I can just not worry about the two matching and just set 5-foot squares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
They're on by default in the mapping program I use, so I just always forget. Okay, so you guys find yourself in a clearly man-made tunnel. The route southeast of you is blocked. Looks like it's collapsed on itself. Perhaps as a result of the unfortunate corpses you saw above you breaking into the tunnel in the first place. However, for those of you who don't have dark vision, the path northwest seems to be clear, but is basically pitch black. For those of you with dark vision, it is basically clear until the end of your dark vision, where it is pitch black.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have a produce flame torch in my hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for once I don't have dark vision.
I got dark vision.
Rabbit
Alright,
folk
so-
can't see in the dark.
I find that kind of silly, but
No, they're mostly diurnal.
How does this work?
I will take your word for it, sir.
Yeah,
If
they
anyone here would know the answer to that, you would.
they're active in mornings and evenings primarily.
Yeah, it's 10 bright, 10 dim.
There you go. Oh, does anybody else want to light a torch?
I can see in the dark.
No, but I'll stay near Torch Boy.
Okay.
At least it's not lighted crotch
Well,
this time.
a torch is 1515, isn't it?
It's 2040, actually.
Oh, so if you want more light, then light a torch.
I'm treating the branches that you've taken as a torch if you're going to light it on fire.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
It would
guess I do
also have
have
the
that,
added
yeah.
benefit of purifying, removing of the.
Yeah. In that case, I would have one of those branches lit.
I'll just give you all one.
Okay.
Don't need it.
Oh, neat.
but I
The
got
light's
it.
animated. That's cool. I hadn't noticed that before.
Oh, it flickers. Nice.
Cute.
It is, right?
It is.
Okay. Yeah. You're standing in a tunnel. It's dark. There's like an orange slime everywhere. And I don't mean like an actual like slime creature. Oh, fucking hold on. Let me turn off the token lock. There you go. You should be able to move freely. I'll yell at you to stop if you go someplace bad.
All right. Well, nobody licked the ground except maybe you, Gareth, if you want to taste it. Or Bear YOLO.
YOLO. It's YOLO.
YOLO freeze?
YOLO.
YOLO
Like
phrase.
YOLO.
Watson.
Like YOLO.
Yeah. So YOLO. Do you see where the ground sort of gets greenish here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are puddles of. I mean, I guess it's water. But it's like so thick with algae that it's effectively like, green slurry. Kind of like pooling in the lower parts of the uneven floor. It's hard to tell where it's coming from, but the area is suddenly very wet.
Hey, Bailey.
Look overhead. How does it look?
You wanna blow up the ceiling?
Blow
No.
up the ceiling? I don't think that's going to work here.
Right. So the whole ceiling is sort of like dewy, and occasional drips fall to the ground.
Does
Well,
it
we are
smell like swamp gas in here?
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Does it look like the embers are smoldering more, as if in the presence of gas?
No, it's not. Like if there's gas present, like if that's what that smell is, it's not in sufficient quantity to cause problems.
Okay.
But there is a sort of like fart smell in the air for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Sucks to be you guys.
watch where you're treading.
Okay, I'm gonna try to use the most of my my lucky footwork
Gotcha.
and my rabbit hop kind of together, like neither in their actual, like, as prescribed way, but I'm going to use the fact that I have these abilities in my rabbit body to
All right. Hold up, guys. Keep going, Joy.
to go boop boop boop, and then maybe even from there somewhere, like there. But to like, at least here, and then I can avoid being in the slime. I can like go boop boop.
Yeah. Nope. I totally get it. I mean, it's kind of ever present. So like even the rock you're standing on is a little bit dewy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're trying to avoid the puddles. You don't want to walk in
I
it.
don't want to
Yeah.
go sloshing into it, and these guys apparently already just did. So
By the way, do you wear shoes?
I think I do. Maybe not actually. Know what? I don't think I actually have them on the model. So no, they're not in my character sheet.
Well, I mean, clothes are clothes. Like that includes your whole ensemble. So, like, if you have clothes, you could have shoes if you want them. I was more asking personally, like, you got rabbit feet. Do you have rabbit feet shoes or?
Yeah, I would.
I could say like anklets, maybe, but
you know what? Or like wraps or something, because I was going.
Yeah, or sandals, maybe. I mean, to go with the whole monk thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, if there's a way you could put sandals on digitigrade rabbit feet.
Do you have a bald spot? Like on the back of your head between your ears?
I wouldn't know. It's the back of my head between my ears. I can't see there.
I mean, you're a monk.
Oh, ha ha ha! No,
Buddy.
not that kind of monk.
Yeah. So you guys are at a T section here of this tunnel. The northern wall of that tunnel is definitely wetter than the southern wall. If you guys are thinking that this is lake water, then the lake is probably to the northwest of you.
so it's like they made a well of the lake, and then this thing went around it.
Well, you're far enough down that depending on how deep that lake is, you could be entirely under it, but it's certainly likely that the body of water itself is on the other side of that rock. Like whether that's above you on the other side of that rock or parallel to you on the other side of that rock, you can't tell from here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, these are man-made tunnels, though. You said.
Oh, very clearly. Yeah.
Well, north or west. Let's pick a direction. I guess east or west.
I'm going west.
West.
All right. Yeah. There's no other reason for you guys to stop. I just wanted to make sure that I knew what Jorah was
Which
doing before you
direction
guys
is
got too far.
drier? Is it more dry to the west?
Yeah. I mean, not like it's definitely not it's definitely not as dry as the part of the tunnel you entered in, but it is drier than the T intersection is.
All right. Let's go west.
All right. Are these 5-foot squares?
Yeah. All right. You come to another T branch. The direction directly southwest of you comes to a abrupt dead end about 50 to 60 feet down from you. Those of you who can see that far in the dark, you can see it pretty clearly. So like Watts, I'm pretty sure you can see it.
Yeah.
There's a wall there. Like it's clearly not like the wall is like crumbled and dark. But like it's pretty clear that the tunnel ends pretty much right past the rubble anyway. However, are you going to walk up to that, Watts?
As I'm walking around, I am doing perception, being careful because, well, I'm in a tunnel.
Yeah.
Tunnels are...
So there are two large skeletons, and when I say large, I mean they're probably like 7.5, 8 feet tall.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. And they're like half buried in the rubble that's broken off and fallen from the wall. It's hard to say whether they were crushed by it, or if that happened later. But you know, they're definitely intermixed among the stones there.
No mushrooms on them. Maybe
no.
they would need the sunlight for that.
Right. I mean, there is a certain amount of like orange slime everywhere, but you haven't actually seen any fungal bodies. What? You see a small blue window hovering over one of these corpses. It says it belongs to a fiend. It doesn't identify the species, however. It just says fiend bones.
Even cooler.
Bones. Good trick.
I turn over to him and I go, even cooler. Do I find any cool trophies?
Well, I mean the fact one of them has a tail, and their skulls are mostly intact. No horns that you could see though.
I take the coolest one and I run the rope that I'm using as my belt through the eyes and nose hole and set it up as a codpiece.
I mean, for you, yeah, you're like a human, right?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
yet, but I haven't had time to inspect.
yeah. I mean, that head's probably like soccer ball sized.
That's the perfect size for a codpiece.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just pointing out the scale.
That's magnificent. And if it's domed correctly too, that's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Like,
Make
sure.
sure you properly clean that. I don't want to deal with you in corruption, sir. What are the fiends doing here? First, someone's a dryad here, and now fiends? Like,
Fiends are demons or devils?
Are you gonna try to find that out?
I'm just asking the party real quick, like, you know, in-game table talk. Like, do you guys remember?
they're from a demi-plane, typically lower section, if I remember right.
Well, I did not roll very high on my religion roll.
I think devils do deals, so they would probably be demons.
Why did I roll that twice? That's weird.
That said, I do speak Infernal because my
I don't know. see why I should. No, I don't have the button push.
Because I was raised in a cult.
But
No, that was just some weird double click. I try to remember history-wise. Are fiends demons or devils?
Yes.
They're both.
Yep. You're asking if motorcycles or bicycles. Sorry. You're asking if bicycles. Yeah, you're asking if motorcycles or bicycles.
I explained it to him exactly like that.
Well, no, if I'm not mistaken, devils are lawful evil and they make deals. Fiends are demons, chaotic evil that just wreck shit.
There are differences between demons and devils, and you are correct in citing one of the major differences between the two. However, they are both fiends.
Okay.
but we can't determine which flavor of fiend this is, just that it's a fiend.
Well,
no,
I
so-
mean, if you know a little bit about the various fiend species, you could probably make some deductions.
Is there anything useful
I'm technically part
that their
fiend, so
parts would be used for?
I mean, esoterically, like, yes, but I don't think any of like there are certain like magical artifacts and spells which might use like a devil's claw or something like that, or like a demon heart, but like nothing that you can think of offhand. To give you some clues as to how you could make deductions, these skeletons don't have wings, for example. Nor do they seem to have horns.
Interesting. Well, it's good to know that they died here. I hope there aren't more ahead. We might want to destroy them. They might be contributing to the abomination here.
Do they have any jewelry
Oh,
on?
definitely. This is the front lines. Remember?
Is there any fiend accoutrement left behind, or were these some sort of like beast, like a male bulge or some shit?
Right. That's you can't tell. There's no gear, and they don't seem to be wearing clothes, but that doesn't mean that they weren't when they died. Like, you don't know how long they've been here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, the tunnel dead ends basically right after this. So.
Okay.
question: does it feel like they were trying to collapse the tunnel down on them? Like they're trying to defend themselves from something?
Oh, you want to roll some insight for me? Yeah, probably not. Like, you don't see any signs of, scratches on the walls or anything like that. However, if you do look at the dead end piece of wall beyond them, there absolutely are deep gouges in it. Like, maybe they were trying to break that wall down? But I mean, from what you can tell between the joints of the stone, and where places where the mortar has rotted out, there's like nothing but dirt back there. So you don't really know why they would do that.
Could I tell if they died from something hitting them from behind or from the front?
Oh yeah, you can examine the bones for wounds. And the obvious answer to that question is no, they seem to die from blunt force trauma to the skull. Specifically the top of the head in both cases.
Yeah, this one right here was only so good because the blow is at sort of where the spine meets the skull, so I could sort of prime it in the way that it looks still menacing.
Yeah, that skull. Right, I was gonna say that skull also only fractured; it didn't shatter.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, the other skull, probably because a rock fell on it, shattered, but you don't know if that was before or after it was killed.
Well, good to know.
What would have caused them? Part of me wants to get behind the wall that's in front of us. Part of me wants to turn around and check the other directions. Because,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that we're. I mean, I guess we could go get picks and risk our own lives trying to hack through the rubble. But
No, I'd rather go the other direction.
agreed.
We can come back and destroy the rest of this later. So, around the corner here, fellas.
Yep, more tunnel. Walls are kind of damaged. It's clearly a relatively old piece of construction, but there's nothing that like belies its purpose.
Yeah, that's really what I'm curious about. Is like, was it a pipe? Was it a sewage system?
Looks like a mine.
What would they be extracting? There's none of the other parts that would make it a mine.
Yeah.
So where I'm at right now, is there actually like a gap here, or is that just kind of aesthetic?
Yeah, it's just aesthetic. It's like the rocks there are crumbled, but like it's the edge of the wall. Like there's nothing there.
Okay.
I am, of course, making use of my racial trait, so every time I move 5 feet, I can roll a d12 and leap. But I'm not going to keep rolling d12.
Sure.
I'll only do that in combat.
I don't think you can actually see through their watts.
Okay. YOLO. The tunnel doesn't actually end there. It begins to slope upward, and about 30 feet ahead of you, you can see sunlight. The proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Ah. Do we peek our heads out and then go down the other path? Or
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go refill my drink and drop a drink off, so to speak. I'll be right back.
All right.
Take your time. I'm paid by the hour.
There you go, AFK as well.
You'd be surprised actually how
That's actually kick ass.
how successful that one.
That's a
one
really
was
good
doing
line.
live.
Yeah, no, that's like in customer service. That's a great piece of banter.
I mean, people fucking love that one. They find it hilarious.
If I wasn't, just about to make you move far from here, I would have suggested you go try to be a Disneyland like Jungle Cruise narrator.
People have already said more than once that I should probably do the Disney talk show hosting, and I feel humbled.
The Jungle Cruise operators have to also do a narration bit that runs.
Oh yeah,
and they have a whole list of like canon jokes, and they mostly stick to the favorites, the fan favorites, but each one does their own thing with the pattern.
absolutely. No,
Did you watch that video I linked in Cool Stuff Verde?
Which one? Let me check it out.
I posted 2.
I think
One's a music video that I feel is very... it's appropriate for what we do for a living, sir.
I haven't seen the music video, but I did see the Cthulhu.
Right. Which I find rather humorous. But no, if you scroll up, there's one. It's related to a game that your sibling has played, and I believe is a firm fan of.
Yeah, it's not an Undertale; it's the other one.
How far up from this?
One of the other ones. There are multiple.
Just above, the guy pulls out of a garage and straight into a tornado.
I live best.
That one's pretty great too. Like, because you see the moment where he's like, "Fuck, I'm putting it back in the O."
Oh, that one, yeah.
At which point his
one I
garage
haven't seen yet.
would be.
It went quiet.
Deltarune is the name of the game that song is from.
Right. I'm getting some weird line of sighty things right here.
I got it too.
Snipe. It's like there's a hole in the wall.
I ignored it.
He's not there. He's off taking a whiz and getting a drink.
I'm right here.
He just talked.
Oh,
That's why I was talking to Snipey again.
You
There
did.
was, in fact, a small hole in the wall there. How interesting.
Is there supposed to be a small hole, sir? Or
No. In fact, I had to zoom in very, very far to find that small
I beta test. It's a thing I do.
hole.
Amen.
You're winky in it.
Now, my question though
Stack everything up in
is,
a pile and jump over the wall.
unfortunately, it breaks the fourth wall for me. It makes me know that there's a room that way.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the wall is crumbled there. Perhaps there was just enough of a crack for you to see a twinkling of light through it.
I kind of want to backtrack, but
There is backtracking to be done, actually, after we're done peeking your head out of here. We still have to go down one more path.
well, it depends what's over this direction. If we're going into a fight, it'll end poorly.
For them, yeah,
Backtrack a bit.
absolutely. Then we can backtrack after we kill them.
Okay. I mean, that's true. I mean, you're assuming there's something to kill, but, you know.
No. Watson just brought up the opportunity or the potential of a fight, and I was all like, yeah, it would turn out poorly for the people who would try to fight us. And then we would end them and then do our backtracking.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. So the tunnel, if you follow it to the light, basically ends in a sort of like ovoid room. Like it kind of ends with a rounded end cap, for lack of a better way to put it. There is the remains of a ladder, sort of like on the ground in the center of the room. Bronze from the looks of it. Long ago corroded and pitted and fallen apart. If you look up to where the ladder
Right
was
about.
likely anchored, you can see that there was in fact a bronze grate up there that has been basically torn apart, exposing what looks like a stone room above you. That said, it's like 15 feet up, so you'll have to figure out how you're going to get up there.
How much,
I don't suppose my hop can go up.
probably
So,
can't.
I mean, in theory.
So I'd have to take
on
5
mending,
foot.
is there enough of that ladder to work on mending?
Oh, that's a good.
You could probably reassemble. The ladder, like piece by piece with mending. You couldn't do it all at once, but there's probably enough left that you could assemble that ladder again. I mean, it's not like disintegrated completely. It's just pitted and rusted and broken, and it obviously
Not
had
safe.
been torn from the ceiling. Yeah.
Cute. I mean,
So, like-
it would probably be easier to use the ladder, yes.
If you could move the ladder bits aside, I'll even help and sit over in the corner and begin this process of mending the ladder. I'm curious if I could take a 5-foot run up and then roll a d12, and then what would I have to hit to be able to catch the lip with my hands, or maybe the leftover bronze?
That'd be an acrobatics and athletics check, I would think.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I'll
so
give you the
I-
leap. The leap will just be a D12 to see if you leaped high enough, right?
yeah, exactly. Because I have rabbit.
Because you're right. But grabbing the grate, that's going to be athletics or acrobatics, whichever one you prefer, depending on your approach.
Okay, cool.
Also, do you think the grate can take your weight once you're up there?
Well, so I would of course look at it and go like, "Hey, you folks think that thing can take my weight if I could leap up there? Because I'm pretty sure I can rabbit hop high enough to get up there if I get within, I don't know. I mean, DM's discretion number of feet.
Only if the stone isn't dissolved.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Nice. Right, like, but I mean, otherwise it would be going for the lip, so I could catch the lip and pull myself up.
Right. That's probably the safer bet. I mean, what's left of the grate is twisted and torn, so it's obvious that its integrity is questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I would look. Yeah, so actually, stone is better. Like bare stone. If there's a part that's bare stone, that'd be better.
Yeah, so like the whole grate is surrounded by, like is a square of like is like a bronze frame. But that frame is screwed into the stone floor above you.
All right.
The floor of the chamber above you, I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm going to do the D12 first.
Yep. That'll work.
Woo, smoking. Okay, now we're going to do an athletics.
That will also work.
Not bad.
All right, hold on a second.
Way to go, rabbit body.
I wonder if I can put you on 2 maps at once. I bet you'll disappear off that map if I move you.
Hey, man. Dungeon Master said play something I haven't played in a long time. I never play Beast People. I never play Paladin.
You were going to come out as a furry. I know it.
Okay, Jory.
It is very dark. I am likely to be eaten by a Gru.
You should find yourself at the bottom of that map once it loads.
Okay, there it is. Cool.
Yeah, and there is a door at the north end, sort of like at the, the cap. Oh, whoops, that door's supposed to be open. Hold on one sec. There you go. Yeah, there is a door sort of like at the north end of the the capsule-shaped room. And the door's gate is off its hinges. You don't know why, but it is.
Whew. Yeah, this is a way. This is a way out. We're like in a building, guys.
Could be one of those hunting lodges that we were told about.
It's something. It's made of stone. The door looks like it got torn off, but it's wide open. I can see a real far away. Like there's tree out there, some stone walls and stuff.
All right, hold on. We're gonna be up in here in a second. Guys, do your magic shit.
Does anyone have rope? Throw me a rope.
I got rope here. I'll throw you a rope. Can I throw him a rope?
Yeah. I wouldn't even make a roll
I don't
for
want to
that.
I don't want to do an athletics check to climb a rope with
Don't worry,
80 pounds on my back.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Just tie it around your foot or your waist, and I'll pull you up.
He'll haul you up.
I mean,
by D&D rules, his push-pull drag is absurd. So yeah, I totally could do that.
Okay. Also, just like a flat black oak down here with us right now.
And since now I've convinced you to climb, or not to climb my rope, but to be pulled up by the rope, how much salvageable bronze is here?
Oh, probably a couple of pounds.
I'm going to.
I've been mending this the entire time.
Yeah, I'm going to take some pieces that haven't been mended because I'm definitely going to get these melted down into some kind of like ball so I can make myself a club.
Okay, I get it. Yep. Yeah, that's fine if you want to add a couple of pipes of bronze or something to your inventory.
Yeah.
Bronze is
a rod, I guess. Yeah.
Bronze is not a good clubbing material.
Actually, bronze maces are pretty badass, or they can be anyway.
Yeah. No, dude. I
bronze is heavy and like weights everything for a mace. You know what I mean?
There's that, but also there's the one.
It's also a soft metal, I thought.
It is, but what you can do with bronze is you can harden the edge hardening, which was something that was done towards the late bronze period. And so what you get are discus mace heads, which look less like the flanged mace heads that you are used to, and more like a sort of like frisbee or a UFO stuck on top of a traditional club. And because the edges,
so more like an axe.
Yeah, they were way more like axes, but these were definitely maces in how they were used.
Right, they weren't bladed; they just had an edge. Right.
Yeah, And because they were actually so moldable and soft, as long as you didn't hit something hard and chip off a bit of metal, sure, it might bend a little bit, but then you just heat it up, bend it right fucking back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, the reason the tunnel that you guys are in on that map just sort of like ends where it is I ran out of tiles, and the other map is actually relatively far away from there. But not enough that I wanted to like create a whole other map just for the section that was missing.
Right.
Gotcha. I figured there was going to be a room, and maybe either a room or it doubles back onto the other tunnel that we were going through, because we had that
Right.
other tunnel.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, this tunnel seems to be a seamless run to where you're going. To where Jory is, I mean, specifically.
Gotcha. I mean, okay. Well, he's getting the rope up and running. Do you guys want to check the other direction that we didn't go in, or just do you want to go up?
Let's stay together.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So are you guys all coming up then?
Yeah, we're going up.
Yeah, I assume.
All right.
I assume. Throw me up one or even more ropes, and we can make them pretty secure up here. Either on the leftover chunks of bronze, or I can even just brace them myself.
I mean, it's 15 feet. It's not that big a deal.
For sure.
Climbing a rope with 80 pounds is going to be rough.
You don't have to climb. I'll just pull you.
If I were Peter Jackson, I would make this an amusing scene.
No, I would think it would even be difficult for you, sir.
Oh, to climb a rope?
Are you going to sit there and put knots in it every foot or so?
Yeah. No, I didn't climb the rope. I jumped.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is that as you were lowering the rope, were you tying knots in it?
Yeah,
Probably.
you make it easier to climb.
I mean,
Yep.
I could, but then you have to untie those later. It's not hard. They're just a little loop. You just do it one at a time. Wonk, wonk, wonk. So, I mean, that can be thrown down pretty quick. You have to do the sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here we are. Look.
Oh, very cool. Well, that's bronze, I take it.
All of it, yeah.
But yeah, so here you guys are.
Also,
If you want to buy one, by the way, you can buy one for $3,000 at that link.
Jesus Christ.
I was thinking YOLO.
Well, it's actually dated to the 12th century or 800 BCE. Sorry, it's 300.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yep.
It's
I
300.
thought it was a reproduction.
And it's much cheaper. It's actually 300 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were saying that the one dude you wanted to buy one from was reasonably priced, but you were afraid of what the tariffs were going to be. And I just had a thought. I'm pretty sure what you do is you make sure that they claim it as sporting equipment.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, since it is a flagged historical item, it won't be able to be.
Oh, not these ones.
Yeah,
I was talking about workout gata.
Gotcha.
A mace.
That drawing of that door appears to look like it has. The door looks like it has a drawing on it.
The door's actually off its hinge. It's
No,
just,
the grate that we just came up out.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have a drawing on it. That's just your view from, down to the floor below.
I assume the fiends went to Terran in, and that's why they ripped open this thing.
Well, I mean, it has been like obviously torn open. So that's a possibility. Watts, as you step through the door, you realize you're basically back in the forest, but you are standing next to Well, I would call it a tower, but really the first floor is all that's left. But you're standing next to a stone ruin of a tower. Pretty decently big one, you know? Like, you don't know how tall it was, but it's wide. Looks like it's probably octagonal, just based on what you can see. There's like cobblestone in a path directly in front of you that seems to like lead to a door into the castle. That door is sealed. The path also continues north, and you can see the remains of another structure to the north. Yeah, so your assessment that maybe this was a hunting lodge or some other retreat for some rich noble back in the day is probably accurate.
And with this thing's location, this was most likely the cistern, or I wonder if if the tunnel hadn't been collapsed into those two locations, if there was going to be flowing water through here, like there was in the city.
Interesting thought. I say as I peek around the corner.
Because, well, you've already established that they have a pretty powerful water network, I would say.
Eh,
You said that the water was flowing pretty good.
That is true.
yeah.
Though
it was fed by a river.
right, the priest also did mention that the city's purifying works were pretty localized, like they didn't extend beyond the city.
I wasn't talking about the purifying, but the water flow itself, the speed.
Right. Yolo, you're looking at it looks like probably was a library maybe, but it's been fucking trashed. Like that's not decay. It's been trashed.
Yo, I see Watson. Oh no, I don't. The door's closed. Or is it open? I think it says open.
Should be closed.
Oh, okay, so I don't see Watson.
I look at the door. Any obvious handles, insignias?
Yeah, okay. So the door is flat blank stone. There is no obvious mechanism for opening it. However, there is a large, like, I mean, it's a mushroom. There is an etching on the front of the door that is a large, like, I mean, it looks all the fucking world like a fucking one-up mushroom from Mario. It like all it needs is to be painted green or red, you know?
I got $20. Says this is where the Mushroom Kingdom begins.
Am I able to open up this window?
These people are who's involved with making those poisonous mushrooms.
Rabbits don't buck.
That's funny.
Hey,
YOLO. It doesn't seem to open, but it is a glass window, like it's a leaded framed thick glass, of the sort that like people who can't make glass but have a lot of money might have been proud of in the 1400s.
You said lead though?
Yeah, like the frame is lead, like it's pretty clearly lead.
Yeah, but I could definitely like break that down and then gather a whole bunch of like lead and then make a mace out of it or something with my bronze, right?
I would not.
Sure, it's not like the lead framing around a window is not a lot of lead. You know what I mean? That said, you could take it out, and that would effectively dismantle that window.
you could dig it out with a dagger.
What's the condition of the building here?
So everything beyond the first floor is fucking gone. There's no obvious rubble. However, the sort of like torn edges of the what remains of the second floor are slightly slagged, implying a great heat was involved.
I see.
Oh, didn't they talk about having like a massive fire trying to stave off the spread of the blight? And that's why a lot of the city was lost?
Hey, well, that follows with, I think that this is at least in some part where the beginning or the perpetuators of the blight were, and if someone figured out fire was a good way to stop it, they'd have laid it on this place.
What can I tell about the structure that I'm looking at now, sir?
Yeah, looks like a small, like you would guess, like a mother-in-law cabin or maybe a servant's quarters. Though it's honestly, the stonework is pretty high quality, so it's unlikely that it was a servant's quarters. But it's small, like you would expect a servant's quarters to be. Like a butler
Or a
house or
mother-in-law's
something.
cabin?
Yeah, right, exactly. It seems to be intact. The windows are not broken. The front door is closed. That's really
Does
about
it
all
have
you
a
can
handle?
tell from there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a normal door. Okay. 1 second. I need to do a thing.
I have approached the door. Oh,
Yep.
shucks.
Everybody stop moving, okay?
Indeed. I was saying, oh, shucks, because of the nat 20 that Watson there just rolled on his perception.
I walked up to a door. The smart man inspects the door. Just what you do.
I, too, was approaching a door. I just wasn't as close as you were.
Actually, I think that's the window.
Yeah, it's a window. Yeah.
Oh, look what you see there, Watts.
What does Watt see?
Oh, wait, look what I see there, Watts.
Right. I'm going to start with Phalion, though.
That's also a window that I'm standing in front of?
Yeah, that is a window that you were standing in front of.
Okay.
Watts is standing in front of the door. You're standing in front of a window.
Got it.
All right.
Phalion, you're looking at, it looks like a chandelier has fallen and smashed some sort of like stone dais on the floor there.
Was the door already open?
You're looking through a window.
Oh, okay.
Not a door. Yeah, so through that window, you can see, like I said, this broken dais. Parts of that dais flicker with like golden light, like somebody has put self-illuminating textures on some of the line work on this dais. It's clearly broken and not functioning correctly, but there's clearly something magical going on there. And speaking of something magical, do you notice the figure on the north side of the room there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a luminous purple humanoid figure standing in front of a desk. You probably actually can't see the desk from where you're at. It seems to be lost in thought. It certainly doesn't react to your presence.
All right. I will carefully start stepping away from that spot then.
All right. YOLO. Looking through the window, you see what looks like a laboratory. It seems to have been thrashed. Thick pools of that greenish liquid that you saw before are definitely all over the floor here. And there is at first you think it's a body, like a desiccated corpse, sort of like draped against the edge of the table right by the window. But as you're looking, it twitches, and you realize it's probably not dead exactly. Jory.
That's me.
Yeah, looking through the window, you're looking at, you would guess a sort of like receiving room or living room, maybe. There's like a smashed cabinet, a smashed chair, a thrashed carpet. There's a stone floor kind of covered in dust.
And smashed too, not fallen to.
I mean, it has since fallen into disrepair, but it did not collapse on its own. You see clear evidence of things being smashed.
Got it. Okay.
And there is a skeleton standing in the corner. Just standing there.
kind of like just self-supporting. It's not hung up on anything. It's just
Correct. Like it's very clearly an animated skeleton of some sort, even though it's not moving, because there ain't nothing holding those bones up.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh, it's Harryhausening.
That's funny. I wonder if I would shout or have the wherewithal to not.
Well,
I mean,
while
that's a
you're
you
deciding
question.
that, I flipped a coin, and I do shout, and I say, "Hark, evil thing, if be thy living by fiend or by devil, I shall collect thy head and purify these lands." And I bang my fist on the glass.
Hey, Watts, do you see a skeleton?
Door's
Oh,
closed. I don't see
yeah.
anything.
Right, as I say, Watts is standing in front of a closed door.
That's right.
Yeah.
Watts-
So YOLO, as you start your demonstrative rant there, the corpse thing in the lab bolts upright and attempts to basically run at the window, but smashes itself against the table. It's not a particularly intelligent creature. That said,
Do I see
as
the same?
an Earth zombie aficionado, that's a fast zombie. That's a runner.
Oh no. Okay. I see what's going on now.
I laugh intimidatingly.
Okay. It definitely wants you dead. It just doesn't understand how to get to you. All right. Who wants to go next?
I will shout out to Watts that he should probably come over here.
Okay. I'll go over there and take a look-see.
I'm gonna point.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a skeleton over there.
But what do you think we ought to do about that?
That window
Are we just
seems
smashing
to
skeletons for no good reason? Or are we just gonna like? I mean,
I'm going to
That
circle
win-
the premise first.
that window seems to open on a like closet or something. There's lots of like moldy cloth on the ground, which was probably hanging on something that has since rotted away. But yeah, just an empty stone room. Actually, the cleanest of the rooms that you've looked into. You're looking at what remains of a bedroom. The bed has sort of like collapsed in on itself, but it hasn't been smashed or destroyed like the other spaces I've been describing. It's just decayed and old and rotted away. However, there is absolutely a skeleton standing right next to it in front of the door to that closet that you saw.
there's another one in there, isn't there?
Can I see that the bedding's actually colored purple?
Yeah.
Well, this all but confirms this was a highfalutin place. Purple is not a color that's common. That was royalty.
In real life,
Nope.
yeah, but we don't know what game this. Ah, that's
By the way, the road, the like cobblestones that are like poking through the overgrowth and fungal mat here,
yeah. Only baby saw that once he pointed it out.
yeah, continues to lead north. Like there might be more off the edge of this map.
By the way, have my branches burned out yet?
No, they're about halfway burned though.
Cool.
So Watts,
We got two skeletons in there. Table talk. I know of a couple different spells to make it where you can have like a skeletal housekeeper or guardian of sorts.
gross.
That would be nice.
Ah,
Isn't that
Isn't
right,
it biased
Nero?
on
Or
that?
Yeah, but you summon an unseen servant. You aren't turning an undead thing into an unseen servant. Then it would be seen. Animate dead is much further along.
right. And I'm pretty sure that I will eventually get turn. I'm a paladin, right?
While we're on this kind of discussion,
Only clerics get turn.
and YOLO is backing up to do something demonstrative to the window, he does want to look at the zombie academically, thinking about himself as well.
well, our choices right now We can knock on this door, which very obviously has a handle. Or we could try going knocking on the other door that doesn't have a handle.
You go knocking on this window.
Yeah, I think we want everyone together if we're going to engage anything. I'm just curious if it's like, if it's if it's worth it. Also, I just had a character moment where I forgot whether or not paladins ever get turn or not. So Jory is me being like, "Oh fuck, am I going to learn to turn sometime?" Shit, I forgot. You guys are.
Is that an insight roll?
And
Yeah,
is
I suppose your best bet is to check
No,
your character sheet and see if it's there.
Is it?
Oh, does your character sheet go all the way down? That's cool. Also,
all right. What are you guys looking at here? What are these skill rolls about?
so I would.
The insight was he just mentioned something about turn undead. I was like, you know what? I wonder if I get that too.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the zombie, trying to see if I could relate any differences semantically and or absolutely pedantically between me and this zombie.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Watts. You absolutely do know that you will get some version of turn. They're different for every cleric though, so I don't know if you remember which one you're gonna get. Jory, you get this. Hold on just a second.
I can't remember how it was going to be altered by the candy domain. Because a lot of it was controlled by the domain, if I remember right.
Right.
Right, well, and I probably rolled my character up fucking high as fuck the night before with, oh shit, I gotta do something I haven't fucking done in like a year. Okay, this show on TV is pretty good. Oh, I got it, I'll do this guy. Right, and forgot.
There you go. You get, wait, that's the wrong one. Oh no, that's the right one. Yeah, you get that.
Thank you. I rolled pretty well for this.
The way it looks, I don't actually, at least from the candy domain, I don't get a turn undead.
That means you get the default cleric one.
Okay.
Dude, when I
Which, let me go look that up.
as an evil cleric in the second edition game that I was playing,
His
that I
spear
didn't
flash-
but I made them friendly. That was like almost game breaking.
Yeah, you get turn undead, like classic turn undead. At 5th level, you get destroy undead, which is kind of cool.
Dude, you should totally destroy them into like bursts of candy.
That's amazing.
It totally is how that should work. I agree.
It will also smell like the best confectionery stuff in the world.
Right.
I'm immune to that smell now.
No, they resolve into literal candy skulls you can eat.
Nice. There you go.
That's hilarious. I mean, that's how you want to roll. We can make that happen.
Hell yeah. When there's
God.
undead, it's Dia de los Muertos every day.
So do I figure out any good arguments or justifications for how I'm different than this thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a couple that are obvious. Sorry, I meant to circle back to you. I mean, there's a couple that are obvious. Like, you wouldn't be stopped by a table. Likewise, this thing's skin is like there's almost no muscle. Like this is effectively an animated skeleton wrapped in skin. Like it barely looks human.
Magic wise, though, is there anything that popped up since I was using that sort of aspect?
Yeah, you mean since you were investigating the creature? Yeah. So, hold on. first of all, let me show you what they look like.
Yeah, is it like a classical hoodoo zombie? You said it was rotting, literally. Like, I don't know what kind of magic is binding this.
No, I actually said that there's almost no meat on its bones, that it's basically bones wrapped in flesh.
Yeah,
Like skin, right?
it does look like that.
I get something kind of like a turn.
Yeah, paladins do get a turn. It's just depending on your domain, it'll be different.
Yeah, your oath.
Right. Yeah. So you get a window that pops up that describes this creature as a husk zombie. Basically, it says they are the victims of curses. One such curse manifests as a terrible roving fog that draws the corpses of the fallen to rise as husk zombies, resilient undead of frightening speed and bloodlust.
Interesting.
As well, some of the more heinous fiends that walk these scarred lands feed on the life force of the living, leaving these terrible undead in their wake.
Hey,
So literal zombos.
yeah. Also, is this one being eaten by the fungus?
No. Actually, you want to roll insight for me really quick?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the
I was
fungus
gonna
didn't
say,
look like
wow,
it
that's
was
insight.
inside at all.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Lol.
isn't that interesting?
How about cash me with the zombie?
I mean, not interesting enough, but is that interesting? Yes.
Does
So
it
I
look
already
like
threw
there's
heads. So I'm taking this very fine ram skull. It's like the only nice thing that I have.
does it look like there's any mold inside? Any blight?
What's
Let me roll perception since
apparatus?
I'm aiming
Apparatus
and hefting this big ass ram skull.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
no.
lab.
To answer that question, like, you can tell that, obviously. Like, if there is any, it's like in the corners, you know what I mean? Like, you don't see any on the floor there. There is that green shit everywhere, though.
Yeah, there is.
So Phalian.
Mm-hmm.
You'll bet here. You think I can hit that zombie with this this ram skull and break the window at the same time?
I'd rather not break the window if we can have this as a contained building that doesn't really have much of the crap in it. Once we figure out what that green shit is and clean it up however we can, this might be useful once we start pushing the blight back. At the very least, we could use it. I know there's a specter in the southeast.
I didn't know if I actually did or did not see something, flash across my eyes down south from this window here. Here, if you stand exactly where I am, you might be able to see something, and you can confirm if it's that thing or not. Like,
Yeah, so the door, yeah, so like you can kind of see through like
I saw
the
that
doors.
specter.
Yeah, the door is like partially open, so you can like kind of see through the edge there.
I mean, that specter is basically a dude at a desk doing busy work. He's paid no mind to me outside the window.
interesting. I wonder if we placate them like in
It's the librarian in Ghostbusters.
That might just work around us. Yeah, no, I don't mind not living in the church. Honestly, having a place to ourselves would be really nice. That's good thinking. I put the ram skull back, having been persuaded. Did I hear them say something about a skeleton? We should probably go.
Yeah, it sounds like we need to get to ass-kicking mode here.
Before turning away, I look over at the zombie and I laugh at it one more time. Run away.
Yeah, it basically hisses back.
Alright, I'm going to get my shield up and get a flame started in my hand again. Oh wait, no, actually I've still got that branch, don't I?
Yeah.
Um,
Like, honestly, the way those are burning, you guys probably have like a half an hour's worth of time left on those.
Can I hold the branch with my shield hand?
I think I'd want to snuff mine out while I'm outside.
No,
Yeah, okay.
I'm purifying this entire.
But yes, you absolutely could, Phalian. It's still, it's probably like 19, 20 inches long right now.
Okay.
That's what he said.
I would probably do that and then have a flame ready in the other hand.
Well, hold up.
I'm gonna put my second my second club, my second burning club in my javelin. My what do you fucking call it? Where you put javelins on your back. It holds a case.
Not a quiver.
It's like a quiver, but it's like a quiver for javelins. Whatever.
Just call it a quiver.
Yeah, let's call it a quiver. I put it inside of the box.
That's also what he said. So, Watts, do you want to go in through the front door, or do you want to go in through the open window?
None of the windows are open.
Oh, I thought one of those. Oh,
No, you can see through them because they're glass, but they're not open.
right. Okay, never mind.
They're open to your photons.
Indeed.
That they are, and I'm gonna.
Are you just like gonna kick the door in, or what?
Nope, I'm gonna knock on it.
Oh,
Are we talking to the undead now?
Nope.
do you have a
I want to
problem?
see how they. I want to see how they respond.
That one over there.
Make sure
That one
happy one.
totally hissed at me and ran into a table. It was hilarious. Now, what were you saying, George?
Yeah.
Postman knocks thrice. Da 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 da. Come on.
Dying.
I find that racially charged.
Wow. Yeah, Watts, if you knock on the door, I mean, there's even a knocker. Like, you don't even have to use your knuckles. Because it's that kind of ornate little bungalow. Yeah, so you knock on the door, you hear shuffling steps, kind of scrapey more than stompy. But that's it.
Like, can't even tell it's coming closer to the door.
Oh, definitely coming closer to the door, but it doesn't, like, all you hear is some steps and then they stop.
I knock again.
No obvious change.
Okay.
Here, step aside. I've always wanted to kick a door in.
No, we don't have to kick it in. I just opened the door.
But the entrance.
Do you own this property? I don't. I don't want to have to pay for repairs. Just because I can mend things doesn't mean I want to be mending everything all of the time.
No, man. We're heroes. This apartment is abandoned, covered in undead. This place is basically ours.
That is entirely racist against undead. They could totally own this place.
What the hell are you talking about?
What was that, Jory?
I would like to just reach over and grab the handle, if there is one, right, and just open the door.
But undead is only a race.
All right.
And wow.
Why don't you all roll initiative?
While they're arguing, I'm just gonna go. Just open the fucking door.
I'm gonna go last, but no. Technically, our friend YOLO clearly just shows me that undead is a race. So stop being racist.
No, man. I can tell that these undead are totally willing to just give this willingly to their brother.
Oh, I'm supposed to add my proficiency.
You just don't understand the signs.
I'm supposed to add a proficiency bonus to my initiative roll.
So that'd be +2 to that.
Dungeon Master.
Shows that you have a +1.
Yeah, proficiency is an additional bonus on top.
Oh, okay.
Is that because of your rabbity nature? What gives you that?
It is indeed. Here, I'll show you.
It's not actually round 2, but
Hair trigger.
That works.
Oh.
that's
I
funny.
can't click it. Arg.
Ha ha ha.
You can't click it. Do you get you don't have rights to it, or does it just not work?
If I
Just-
click it, it shows the window. It says you add your
Just doesn't work.
bonus to your initiative rolls, is what it says.
Does nobody else see that?
Nah,
Like-
I can't click it. It don't tell me shit.
Huh? Do you guys have your books all loaded?
Thought I did.
Activation. Unload. No. Wow. Really? Really? I gotta do these again.
Oh yeah, every campaign you got to do them. But it should stay that way once you have done them before. So
No. That's what's weird is I've done them before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
wait.
I have.
I'm unloading now. Okay. No, I'm just high, and now I need to load it again.
Oh, make sure
Aw.
you go to page 2 and get those as well.
I did.
I didn't. Seems I was. Oh, I didn't have Phalian's wild shapes at level 2.
Oh, that shouldn't matter. That's not where that comes from. So this is a copyright thing. It's because I can't like share it with you, I guess.
That's so weird. Anyways,
You're a rabbit folk, right?
Damn right. Also, I want this on
Heron
record.
gone.
I want this
Well,
record.
that's why I was asking, because there's both rabbit folk and heron gone, so I wasn't sure which one he was.
No, I picked Rabbit Folk. I have never before, like in my 30+ years of D&Ding, played
Try that now.
a rabbit person.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen you play a beast person like ever.
No, I don't. That's the thing I don't do. It's one of the reasons I did it. It's because you're like, gotta
Yeah.
play something you don't play, and I'm like, oh fuck, what don't I play? Paladins,
there we go.
rabbit
Did that work?
paladins.
Yes, but okay, but it doesn't say which proficiency.
That's
No,
really
your
good.
proficiency bonus. So like if you look at your character sheet, on the main tab, is it on your main tab? Where
Yeah,
is your
it's in the
proficiency
upper
bonus?
right.
Yeah, there you go. Right below your token, it says
Okay.
prof
Prof
plus
plus
2.
two, yeah,
That's
yeah.
your proficiency bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
seems like I should get. So I don't know what the +1 on that initiative roll is. I feel like I should get at least +2.
It's you get an additional plus 2 on top of that. That plus 1 is your dex bonus.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, cool. Yeah, so you will have to do whatever you can do. I don't know, but I think that makes me a 7.
That is correct. Already updated in the combat tracker, in fact. Let me remove some items, speaking of. Can't be a dryad on the list. You burned her.
I was literally asked today what my favorite class was, and I was like, "Oh, that's a trick question."
Like your favorite D&D class? That's funny.
Indeed, yeah. I actually did the me thing. I did the Ombois thing, and was like, for me, it's really not about the numbers distribution. It's about the character that you create.
Sure.
And then I told stories about the characters that I've been playing, including Jory Diddington. Where I was
Nice.
like, and now I am playing a paladin for the first time in, I don't know, maybe 20 actual full years.
Totally. YOLO, it is your turn. So we are at, by the way, 2:00 in the morning, Mountain Time now.
Yeah, I'm down to roll initiative and pick this up again when next we play. We are about to fight.
Right. Yeah, so my suggestion is that, this is a stopping point. So if we're, calling it a night, this would be the time to do so.
It's up to you guys. I'm G2D.
I'm good.
I only have to be up in about 5 hours to go open the store, so it's whatever.
Sounds like we should probably wrap up then.
Right.
I function off of like 2 to 3 hours perfectly fine.
I will
don't know
go
what you're
5
talking about.
a.m. today, in fact.
All right, well, we'll call it a night then. Yeah.
Remember, everyone, next time we play, we're about to throw down.
Oh yeah.
I will.